Gender wars. So, do you guys remember that lady, the brick lady, who basically said a man threw a brick at her, a black man, and started a riot between black men and black women? Gender wars is a huge thing that typically happens in real life and online. And so, my question to you is, do you see it? Do you notice it? One thing that typically happens in our community when it comes to us, especially the black community, is that black families are not divided, but sometimes we can fall into those agendas, right? Sometimes we can fall into those agendas. So the way to continue healing and fixing things and making our community better is definitely paying attention to the agendas. Sometimes it may not be an agenda though. Sometimes people just go through stuff. And so one thing I wanted to talk about was the Rihanna and Chris Brown case and the Megan and the Megan and Stallion, the Megan the Rihanna and Chris Brown case from years ago, and Megan Thee Stallion and Clay. Megan Thee Stallion and Clay just broke up, and Chris Brown and Rihanna broke up a few years ago. I do not care for celebrity gossip. I do not give a F. I care about the message that is being sent out and the betterment of the community. So, I was watching this wonderful, beautiful, foundational Black American, Theo the Truth, and her video spoke volumes to me in regards to celebrity breakups causing gender wars and the way that a lot of men spoke to her, including some of our men, which I will get to that, but a lot of men spoke to her in very demeaning, harmful ways, and I believe in respect. So the first thing I would like to say is let's respect each other, especially our community. We already have lots of other races of people constantly putting us down and tearing us apart. That is not okay. So, the best thing we can do is start home and start with each other. Now, when it comes to the Megan chick, the Megan Thee Stallion chick, and the men bashing Megan Thee Stallion, I totally get it. With the Tory Lanez case, it seems to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. A lot of people's mouth. So, bottom line is, based off of her background and growing up, she basically raised herself, and I have compassion. I have a lot of compassion. I do not agree with anyone, especially in the FBA community, the foundational Black community, with bashing each other and putting each other down, because we already have so much against us. So much against us that we need to continue, like we're doing, come together, build our families up even more, become more structured, and things of that nature. And pretty much she's in the spotlight, so you're going to find a lot of things concerning these celebrities coming to the spotlight. So with her situation regarding her breakup with the K guy and her Tory Lanez situation, no, she does not look good, and that sucks. That does not mean that it should start a gender war. It shouldn't. We need to continue our focus points as people, as a community. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Rihanna case. Yes, Chris Brown did what he did, but let's not forget what Rihanna did, okay? Let's not forget that part. Because when it comes to us as people, men and women, there's always two sides to a story. And when it comes to the system tends to favor women because they look at women as fragile and soft and things of that nature. At the end of the day, though, women do wrong too. And not just in our community. Let me go ahead and make facts straight. Plenty of YT women and Mexican and all that, okay? I was just in the neighborhood today and seen some Mexicans arguing and carrying on. It's a lot, but it does happen in our community sometimes. So, there's always two sides to a story. And in this case, Rihanna should have been held accountable a lot more. Like, I don't think that people should have been so hard on Chris Brown. I am not for any cases of people getting like hurt or domestic violence. I have been through stuff in my life, and as I stated before, it always boils down to yourself as a woman having accountability and what the man did and him having accountability. Not, oh my God, we're going to totally cancel this man out and the woman was right about everything she said and blase. Those type of situations, when a woman lies, makes it hard for women that are telling the truth to win their case. Because the women that are just have this mindset that they want to go after a man or get his money or whatever she's looking for from him will go and do that. So, but I just want to point out that in the black community, we simply need to stop bashing each other. Now, I don't have a huge care for Megan. She's beautiful. I love her free spirit. As far as Riri, she's beautiful. She is amazing. But she does have a temperament. Riri has a temperament. So, with that being said, I would just say that there's probably more to the story. Chris Brown was not the only one. And I just need us to see that. So, bottom line, though, is that most of all, for the foundational Black American community, if there is a woman fighting for us and she's trying to get things going for money and reparations and trying to get the community seen in a better light because it's been lied on and trashed upon and all the black men are doing all the crimes and blah blah blah, which isn't true. If there is a woman that is trying to propel forward and be a part of the movement, let's all be chill. Let's be respectful. It is nothing wrong with respect. We all want it. So, you may not agree with what anybody that's fighting for what we're all looking for, which is the reparations, because we all have personalities. We all have personalities. Like I said, Riza Islam, Tariq Nasheed, Black Alpha Network, the lady's name, Theo the Truth, Love Jones, and there's a few more. So the point that I'm making is that we're not going to always agree with each other because we're all still people. We all have different religions, different mindsets, different backgrounds, different belief systems. But at the end of the day, we're all descendants of this land. We need to come together more. And that goes to my last point. One thing me and my dad spoke about, and I spoke about this a little bit with my mom as well, was that back in the day, before black folks, personal stuff, all of that, oh, we arguing about this, we're going through that, blah, blah, blah. Before that stuff was all over social media, painting a horrible pictures of us, the man and the woman resolved their problems at home in private. Before social media existed. We need to go back to that. Like, on God. It's not conducive. And it is okay to resolve stuff at home. If you gotta go talk to somebody outside of your family, have like I don't know, a meeting with your pastor if you're in a church, or a therapist, or whatever you need to do. But why put it on social media? To paint this image in our community that has been painted for years, and it needs to be repainted because it's not true. So this would be a wonderful approach, a beautiful, classy approach to improving our community by just learning how to keep things more private. Now, I don't know if any of these celebrities will hear me, but maybe one day they will. But one thing I do admire about Denzel Washington and his wife, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Beyonce puts her stuff out a little bit, but Denzel Washington and his wife, and a few other celebrities, if you could think of some, I would love for you to put them down in the comments. That just keep it classy. Keep it classy. Like, what are we doing? And then one last thing I would like to say is, one thing I love about Chris Brown, though, he's not perfect, and clearly he makes mistakes, is that he doesn't destiny swap. He came in paying homage to Michael Jackson, Usher, and made his own way, right? This Tyler chick, or whatever, whoever she is, does seem to me like she's trying to destiny swap with Rihanna. And my advice to all of us is just to be yourself. Be yourself. Whatever that looks like, God will create your path, your life, your foundation, and who you are. You may be that person that is just meant to be in the background and do somebody's makeup, but you don't know where that can take you. You may be that person who is on the forefront speaking on the mic. You may be that person singing on the mic. You may be that person driving people around. You may just be the cook in the kitchen, but are you just the cook in the kitchen? Or are you really making somebody's day for their wedding or for something that's coming up? You don't know how beautiful you can be to someone when we're always looking at TV and celebrities and, oh, this person's doing that and this person is so. No, they're not better just because they're on TV or blah blah blah. Do you see what's going on? The immaturity and all this stuff happening with these people. Bottom line is, like I said, I'm not into gossip. I'm not into celebrity drama. I'm not into all that stuff. What I am here for is the betterment of our community. Personally, I really do admire the ones that know how to keep it classy, sweet, and beautiful. I admire them so much because a lot of the young people and stuff like that, maybe they haven't learned, you know? I love it when our foundational Black community of people get together and do amazing things like we've always been doing for years. I love that we are seeing how beautiful and amazing we are, how wonderful we are, how much we trendset. Oh my God. So when I was in Israel, because I definitely went overseas before, and I remember being on the bus, because we were on the bus just like traveling all over. I went to Bethlehem, everywhere, right? The only music that was played, baby, was our music. That's what they was playing. We was listening to Beyonce and Usher and Michael Jackson and Prince and all of them. And I asked myself when I was overseas, I said, why are they just playing our music? Like, we popping. Like, I never knew that this was a normal thing. That they just out here playing our music when I was overseas in Israel and Bethlehem and all of that. Like, they was just playing our music. Going crazy dancing. And then when I went over to Mexico, they had the Mexican Michael Jackson. They was like, yeah, we got the Mexican Michael Jackson, and they made like a little Mexican remix of Michael Jackson's music, and he was on stage doing all kinds of stuff, the moonwalk, all of that. So if you don't know who you are, you know who you are now. You're descendants of the slaves to this land. You're powerful, you're black, and you're beautiful. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Much love.